created to inspire everyday people to live extraordinary lives. So it's really just like me, just like shooting it, talking to you about it straight from the hip so that we can elevate our lives in every way possible. So my name is Tiffany Roth and welcome to my channel, Tiffany Roth Workouts. If you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe and notify button. Not only do I have this great show, Tiffany Talks, but we also have live workouts every Monday, Wednesday at 9 a.m. and Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Okay, so the topic of today's show is how to recover from binge eating. Okay, so now I know I have a live comments right here. There's a little bit of a delay, but I want you guys to let me know. Just say, yes, I have binged before. Like, have you ever been subjected, like something that came from outside of you, to binge eating? Have you ever overeaten so much to where you felt sick or you felt really guilty? If you've done that, just type in the chat yes, because this show is created. Listen, we're going to keep it real. As a fitness instructor, as an influencer, I want to tell you, I am a human being, right? I am a human being and I am fallible. And yes, I make mistakes and all of that. And we're in this journey together. So I see you guys are being honest and you're being real and you're saying yes. So like, we know that we're all in the same bucket. So the reason why I'm having the show is because this happened to me. It happened to me this weekend. And I'm going to tell you, I have a weakness. And you guys, if you know me, you know what that weakness is, right? You guys know what it is. It's like, I just want to, it comes a certain way. It's difficult for me. And that is chocolate chip cookies, right? So I like certain chocolate chip cookies. So I was in the store one day and I went down the aisle and I bought these cookies, and I knew when I bought the cookies, I'm like, well, you're only going to eat, one of them. So listen, you guys, listen to me. Binge eating begins with a lie, right? It begins with a lie that you tell yourself. So I'm in the aisle, I buy the cookies, I'm like, you're only going to eat one, and then you're going to give the rest to the kids, right? So it begins usually with a lie. So I get the cookies, and I'm so excited about it. I rip open the bag in the car. I have one. The sensation is so incredible, right? That I have another, and I have another, and I get home and I put them away, and then I wait, and they're saying, Tiffany, and I go and I have more, and then half the bag is gone. Half the bag is gone, and you're like, well, half the bag is already gone, so I might as well finish it, right? So then I eat all but like one, and then the poor kids come home and they're like, what happened to the cookies, Mom? And I'm like, like you have your hand cut in the cookie jar, and then comes waves of guilt and all of this, and you have to deal with it. And fortunately, there's a ways in which you can bounce back, and that's what I want to talk to you guys about. But first, we have to get underneath the binge eating. I knew why I was binge eating. Like, I had a tough week. I had some things that didn't go my way, right? I was fretting about some payments that hadn't come in yet. And let me see I was fretting about some payments that hadn't come in yet. Bills were coming in, and I was like, I was feeling empty. I was feeling empty and tired and a little bit run down, right? Empty, tired, run down. These are the emotions that are the beginning of the binge, right? So the binge really is a way for your body to seek immediate gratification and immediate filling up, right? But what it does is it leaves you very empty afterwards. It leaves you very empty, and you actually don't even want to be in control when it's happening, right? So like you're not even like tuned into logic, right? So the cookies were going down, boom, 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 and I was chewing. It was so good. I'm like, oh my God, the chips, oh my God, it's so amazing. And then afterwards you're like, oh my God, oh my God. Your oh my God goes from oh my God to oh my God, right? So then guess what happens? The vicious cycle starts all over again. So I want to tell you guys, is there a solution to binge eating? Granted by everybody who has posted here that yes, they've binge eaten before, I want you to say that it's something that's probably normal. Okay, it's something that's probably normal, and then we all go through it because we're not really taught, when we're eating, like how to look at and evaluate food. And I'm going to tell you that there are certain foods that you eat that actually promote it. Like it becomes more than your emotions, it becomes a physiological reaction to the food. It becomes a physiological reaction to the food. And I'll get into that a little bit later. So anyway, the reason why you're binging, right? Usually it's like, number one, you want to turn your brain off. Number two, you want to fill some void, is usually emotional. Number three, you want to stop feeling bad right away and you want to feel good. So all of those things to your brain seem really logical, right? However, after the binge is done, you feel sick, you feel guilty, and then you keep on that spiral of eating bad food, right? So the topic of this show is not to beat yourself up when that happens, right? But to know how to bounce back. Because everybody's going to have a time in their life where they're feeling like giving up, where they feel empty or lonely or overwhelmed, right? And that the more that we focus on the why, the less often those occurrences will happen. So if I had stepped into my leadership, which I knew the skills and I chose not to, right? I chose not to. It was like, no. These cookies are just for the kids. No. I didn't want to be with myself, you guys. I didn't want to be with myself, right? I just wanted to escape. So I want you to take note that binging is usually escaping from your life, So how could I have prevented that? How could I have prevented that? There are ways that you can do that by being honest with yourself about what you're feeling and allowing yourself to feel it, you guys. Allowing yourself to feel it. If you feel lonely, okay, I feel lonely. If you feel nervous, I feel nervous. Okay, if you feel out of control, you feel out of control. And then find another way. Right? Find another way. And usually what works for me right before I'm about to binge is that like I'll have a cookie there and then I'll have an apple, right? And if I take the first bite of the apple and my brain and my body go, yes, something clicks, like that I'm healthy and I'm worth it, and then I come back to my sane self, right? So I've never had an addiction with alcohol or drugs, but I'm sure that's the same thing from other people. Like, once you take that first sip, it's really hard to recover. So what do you do instead? People call their sponsors. Here we have, as you guys, we reach out to each other. We have the whole circle in the Tiffany Talks Fit Club. But so what I could have done better that day was eat something healthy when you're thinking about the binge. So I have some rules and I want to share them with you guys. So number one, the first beverage that you always drink in the morning is water. You always drink water. Before you drink coffee or juice or anything, drink water. Get your water down first. And then when you eat your fruits and vegetables, I'm telling you, it triggers something else in your brain that says, I'm going to be healthy. It triggers something else. When I eat the cookies, it triggers a whole bunch of stuff in my brain that's hard to turn off. Like that, the feeling of chocolate, all the associations with chocolate. And here we go, you guys. There are some deadly combinations, right? There's some deadly combinations. One of them is sugar and flour. When you put sugar and flour together, it actually causes a chemical reaction in your body where you just want to lose it. Right? The other one is salt and fat, right? Salt and fat. Okay, so when you put salt with some fat together, like oil or something like that, French fries, this kind of fry, salt with that, then that triggers something else, right? So I made some popcorn the other night, and with the popcorn, some of it had salt on it, some of it didn't. The one that had salt on, you go. The one with no salt was still there the next morning, right? What is that about? So when you put those things together, it's a deadly combination. So you can start by, like, if you know that that's your thing, like, just know that it's not going to work out for you well if you go down that rabbit hole. Okay, next thing is, how do you recover? Emotionally, you gotta give yourself some grace, because this is what happens. If you binge and you eat something and you shouldn't, and then you beat yourself up, then you're reinforcing that same negative behavior and that negative emotion that started you to binge in the first place, right? So then you get on this, like, it's almost like, Oh my God, they have these at Magic Mountain, those things. What do you guys call them? That they go around in circles. That's you. You go, you binge. You go, I feel so bad. I'm not going to do it again. And then you feel so bad, so you binge it, and you get caught in this whole circle, right? And this circle is not a success circle. It's like after that circle, you get off, you feel sick, you're lightheaded. That's what happens when you get on the binge circle. So here are my tips. Here are my tips. Number one, and you guys have heard me say this before. Clean up your act. Clean up your act. So what happens is when you have those combinations of the sugar, okay, and the flour, right, and the fat, merry-go-round, thank you. Now the merry-go-round is this way. There's another one that goes this way, right? So there's the sugar and the flour, and then there's the fat and the salt, right? So when you get fat with salt, woo, like you're on it. That's like potato chips, French fries, and sugar and flours like cakes, cookies, things like that. And you throw some cream in there, oh my God, what? It's a goner. So what you have to do is clean up your act. It's called cold turkey, right? And you really got to cold turkey it. So even if people are getting over drug addiction, like they do have to just stop the drug and maybe substitute it for something else as their body weans off of it. So think of it like that. When you're binging and you've gone off the deep end of something, how do you recover? You go back to nature. You go back to nature, you guys. So the next morning, what you do is you get up, right? And you make some choices. You make some choices, right? I'm going to nourish and love my body today. I want you guys to say it with me. I'm going to nourish and love my body today. So you wake up in the morning and you start off with a nice glass of water and you journal and you meditate and you do your workout and then you plan what you're gonna eat. And make sure that whatever you eat doesn't have that deadly combo of sugar and flour and or fat and salt. So that leaves you with what? Mother Nature, baby. Mother Nature doesn't combine the foods like that. Whoever binged on carrots, whoever binged on celery, you eat enough. So what you have to do is you do a cleanse day afterwards. After you binge, you do a cleanse day. And you get to cleanse yourself emotionally. Give yourself grace. Let that day go, because what you don't want to do is bring yesterday's issues into today. Right? So that day is gone. You can't name me one day that you can get back unless you bring it back. Right? Unless you bring it back with your thoughts, words, and actions. You can't bring it back. So why are you still feeling guilty about what happened the day before or the day before that? Right? Why are you still feeling guilty about that? The only thing that you can control are your choices in the now. And guess what? Every day you get to be empowered with a new choice. You get to be empowered with a new choice. So I start off with what I should have done before, with fresh fruits and vegetables, you guys. Fresh fruits and vegetables. So what does that look like? If I had like a sugar binge or something like that, which is usually my thing, I like to do like a fresh mango in the morning or a watermelon in the morning or something fresh like apples or something sweet, grapes, something like that. So I still feel like I'm like, it's almost like a tapering off, right? And then if you guys are like a French fry person or a carb and fat person, then do like celery, because celery has natural salt. Celery, cucumbers, a nice salad with olive oil and vinegar, right? And herbs, maybe something spicy, chop some jalapenos in there. There are so many other solutions in nature that we can find to basically reset your body. But there's two resets that get to happen. Your mind, actually there's three. Your mind, your emotions, and your body. All right? Mind, emotions, and body. So you have to first, the next day, make a decision. Say, I'm not bringing my yesterday to my today. Right? Don't bring your yesterday to your today. Make a choice that you're going to do something differently today. And then you get to think about what led me to the binge emotionally. What led you to the binge emotionally? Because there usually is something there. And that something there might still be there. And if you try and cover it up, right, then it leads to more binges. Like for me, listen, you guys, I'm gonna tell you okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest, like whatever. So I have this new challenge, the 10, 20, 30 challenge. I was so freaking excited about it. I was beyond excited about it because I got inspired by it. And I was like, this is going to be amazing because there's some people that need a jump start. They can just do the 10-minute workouts, or they can do the 20-minute workouts, they can do the 30-minute workouts, and it's going to be great. You know what? I'm going to make it even better. I'm going to give the first 2 weeks for free. And I started telling people about it, and I'm like, this is going to go crazy. People are going to be so inspired. And not that many people signed up. Right? I expected like just tons of people to jump on that, and they didn't. And then I internalized that as a personal failure, you guys. I internalized that I did something wrong, or like it's not what they wanted, or like maybe they don't like my workouts. I started internalizing that thing, and then I made it about me, right? I made it about something that was not right with me. And then there goes the hole, right? There's the hole. And then when you feel like it's about you, you don't want to get up, you don't want to do things, you like lack motivation, right? So then you like looking for something instantaneous. And then hence, I'm in the grocery store, I see the cookies, boom, booyah, and that's what happened, right? So now after the binge, guess what? That emotional trigger is still there. It's still there, you guys. So you got to deal with it. So it's time to like brush off and go, you know what? Tiffany, okay, take another approach, right? Maybe you didn't explain it enough. Maybe you can explain it in a different way. Maybe you can do another video. It takes a while for people to understand. Maybe the offer was off a little bit. So you get back on your horse and you address that thing that made you feeling bad the first day. If it's relationships, because a lot of it's a relationship. You say, well, how did I show up in the relationship? What can I do differently next time? How can I be more loving or forgiving with myself? You get to deal with the thing that emotionally that triggered the binge, right? And for me, that meant doing what I tell you guys to always do is when you fall down, get back up. I get back on the horse, you guys. I get back on the horse and I start riding, right? And I'm a leader, so I go down roads that aren't traveled. Sometimes I start things and they don't go the way I plan, but does that mean I get up and go home? No, you keep going forward. So you get up, you find out what it is that initiated that emotional down, and you deal with it, you guys. There's lots of ways that you can deal with it. You can write it down. You can ask yourself, what is bothering me, and how can I reduce that impact? How can I show up for myself and reduce the impact of that pain that I'm feeling, right? And there's lots of different ways. If it's feeling badly about yourself, you can get your nails done. You can journal. You can play your favorite song and dance. There's so many things that you can do that'll fill you up. Call up a girlfriend or an old friend that you haven't talked to in a long time. Do other things to fill you up and make you connected so that you don't have that void inside. Don't turn off the trigger and go, no, 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 I'm doing this, because that's loneliness and isolation, right? Let's be real. It's loneliness and it's isolation, and that gets you absolutely nowhere. So when you make a different choice in the morning, right, that you know what, I'm worth it, and this is my life, right? This is my life, and the yesterday's mistakes don't make up my tomorrows. You guys say it, yesterday's mistakes do not create my tomorrows. Every day you get to have a new choice. And so when you have a new choice and you start off fresh, right, then you're more than likely to not get triggered by those binge foods again. So I wake up, I drink my water, and most importantly, now here's the thing, you guys, this is like the worst thing about binging. Like after you binge, you feel lazy, you feel sluggish, your joints hurt, you're not in the mood, you're like, I don't feel like working out. Hey, well, that's because your body is full of all these toxins and junk. So the last thing you guys are usually gonna do is work out, and that's the first thing that you need to do. Because when you work out, right, that is a cleanse. You hearing me? Working out is a cleanse. You are cleansing your body of toxins. When you work out, right, you get like all of that, those juices, the digestive juices going. You get oxygen in your body, right? You sweat out the toxins. Your heart's beating. You start to get rid of the fat, and you're like, whoo! Right? And then you're ready. So the day after a binge, baby, you better get up and hit your Tiffany Roth workout stat. Hit them stat. That's the first thing you do. Drink your water and do your workouts. And then you can think clearly. Then you can plan out your day and only go natural foods. Only go natural foods. So the day after a binge, don't eat any bread. Don't get into, okay, this is another thing, you guys. Don't think about what you can't have. Hear what I'm saying? Don't think about, well, I can't have any bread and I can't have that, because that's going to what? Put you back on that spiral again. Think about what you're choosing, what you can have. So the day after a binge, go fresh. Go fresh. Go fresh. Fresh fruits, salads, I don't even want to say juices because juices sometimes have so much sugar in it. So just go fruits and salads and water and reset your body. It's the best way to recover. And guess what? If you do that for one day, you're going to be feeling so much better. You're going to be feeling so much better that is the day that you're going to remember more than the binge, right? You're going to remember that day. And then you start your habits of success again. So I wanted to do this video because I want to keep it real with you. Somebody shared a video with me of somebody who had an Instagram post and they're like all dolled up, and then but in reality they look like hell, right? They look like hell all day, and it's like, it doesn't even seem like the same person. I don't want to do that for you guys. I don't want to be the type of trainer and coach that like says that I'm here and the rest of the world is making mistakes. No, hey, we're making these mistakes together. We rise and fall together. We're a team. We are better together. That means me too, you guys. Me too, right? So what I do have though is I have a lot of experience, and I have the tools of leadership. Right? I have a lot of experience in this business. And let me tell you, I have lived through it. I've been a coach and a trainer for over 30 years. I've worked with over 20,000 people in my life, you guys. And I've seen it all. And there's nobody that's perfect. Even the people that look perfect. I've seen people that look perfect that are like binging and bulimic. So listen, hey, everybody is struggling with their stuff. We all fall down and we all get to get up. I'm giving you the skills to get up faster and faster. So if you guys remember what I said, type it in the chat. If you remember what I said, type in the chat. If you don't remember, I'm going to tell you right now, I want you to write it down. Okay? Write it down. Number 1, don't bring your yesterday until today. Give yourself grace. That was yesterday. It's a new day. Number 2, drink water in the morning. Start your cleanse. Cleanse yourself. Number 3, think about what triggered the binge in the first place, because that's the thing that's going to still be there. It's not about the food, you guys. It's about the emotions, right, that you experienced that led to the food. So how do you deal with it? How do you deal with those emotions? Head on. Don't run from them. Don't bury them. Just deal with it head on. What is bothering me? Ask the question, what's bothering me? Get to the end of it and then make a decision what you're going to do about it. And that it doesn't involve binging. That means that you get to confront and get to know yourself. And ways that you can do that, you can just write it down. You can say, what was bothering me was, and just journal about it, and what I plan on doing from here forward, and just journal about it. You guys get to use these tools. So I hope you're writing that down. Find out what triggered the binge in the first place, right? Third thing is go fresh. Go back to Mother Nature. So stay away from these combos: sugar and flour and fat and salt. Sugar and flour and fat and salt. That's also meat and salt. Try eating some meat with no salt on it, right? Who's binging on that? Nobody, right? So when you put those combos together, those are binge triggers. So make sure that you go back to nature. That means that next day after the binge, go fresh. Fresh fruits and vegetables. And the reason why I say raw is once you start cooking, here comes the oil, here comes the salt, and there you go again, right? Triggered like a MF, right? So don't do that the next day, right? You got to cleanse with your raw fruits and vegetables. So next week, I'm going to be doing the Mother Nature cleanse on the 10, 20, 30 challenge. And I encourage you guys to do it with me, right? I encourage you guys to do it with me. So if you want to do this cleanse with me, we're going to do it next week on the Tiffany Club, the TRFC. .club. That's www.trfc.club. I'm giving 2 weeks free trial membership in the TRFC. So if you want to try this Mother Nature cleanse, we're going to do a 5-day cleanse. I'm going to do it with you. I'm going to post my picture. So you guys start to I'm getting psychologically ready. I'm also doing it with my high level 1% coaching group, the Mindset Makeover, right? And the reason why is I know I am source, right? If I'm not right within myself, then I'm not doing my best job as a coach. So I get to get right within myself, right? I get to get right within myself. All right, so I see somebody saying that they're poor. Let me scoot up and read some of these comments, right? Okay, if you're poor, right, listen, let me tell you, lettuce and celery are cheap. Lettuce and celery are cheap. They're cheaper than food. Get lettuce, get some celery, get some lemon, and you're good. And some water, you're good. Okay, so join the TRFC. Thank you, Bricia. Join the TRFC, and we're going to do this cleanse next week, okay? It's the best. And let me tell you, what it does is it gets you off of those things that trigger the cravings. It gets you off of it. If you don't want to do that, follow those steps. If you guys listen to me, type them in the chat for the other people who are going to be watching this video later. Type them in the chat because we are in this whole thing called life together. We are in this whole thing called life together. All right, so I'm going to do a shout out to all the Raw Stars. I see Shannon, I see Wendy, I saw Ann there, and Bricia. Who else is here? If you guys have any questions, now is the time to ask. Any questions, now is the time to ask. And I'm here for you. So let's see, we have, thank you, Bricia. Cheryl is here. I love you. Listen, you guys, these are Raw Stars from the TRFC, and we are part of our support team. Ebony J is here representing. Yes, Caramel King in the house. I love it. I love it. Thank you for giving me that tip about the roller coaster. But you guys know that one that goes like this, right? All right. Hey, Margarita. Thank you, Bricia. I remember I did that the first time at Magic Mountain. You got on that ride. I don't know if it's a Buccaneer or something like that. Man, I got that off. Okay. All right, so yes, thank you, Luz. Luz, I'm looking for someone to translate these videos for me. So if you're interested, DM me and you can translate them for me. Kate is in the house. Hey, Taylor. Yes. Oh my God. You and Michelle, I'm thinking about you all the time. I'm so happy that you're back with me again. This is life, right? It's a roller coaster, but you keep going, right? You got that binge. All right, get back on it. That was yesterday. This is today. That's why this video came, you guys. When you're looking for change, change you will find. Change will find you. So this is it. Okay, so I'm signing out, you guys. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. If you knew, ooh, in French, yes, you guys, I'm going to enable the subtitles, and you guys can get in there and translate. I would be so grateful so that everyone in the world can get the benefit of these coachings. Hey, Cookie, how are you? So everyone get the benefit of these coachings, and then we can spread the love, right? As always, we are better together. We're like 5 fingers in one hand, working together for a fit, fierce, and fabulous way of life. Are you guys with me? Thank you for joining Tiffany Talks. Hey, Marina, thank you for joining Tiffany Talks. It is a show. This show is created. Let me tell you why I created this show. For everyday people to have extraordinary lives, right? For everyday people to have extraordinary lives, right? I want to address a comment that just came in. Someone said they have been burned by offers like that before, where they get the 2 weeks and then they get charged, right? So let me be clear with you guys. I want to be clear with you guys that yes, I want you to be a long-lasting member of the TRFC. Yes, afterwards, if you continue with your membership, it's $29.99 a month, which is $1 a day. Now, we're talking about binging, right? That food that you binge on costs money, right? What do you spend your money on that actually keeps you healthy and emotionally strong and sane? What do you spend your money on that does that? We're talking about you. You are what you say, I can't afford it. You can't afford you. So really, like, the things that are really, really important to us, we budget in. We create that as a priority. And I am encouraging you guys to make yourself a priority on your bill pay list. Make yourself a priority, right? Because if you're saying that you can't afford it, but you're paying for everything else, you pay for the light bill and the rent and the car and everybody else, and not you, and then you're walking around feeling terrible about yourself, right? How is that working? So everyone that you see here that are posting and leaving comments, these are messages from people who are on the TRFC, for the rock stars that are subscribers to this program. And you know why they're here? Because we're connected. Because we're connected. We are not meant to be on this journey of life alone. And so many of us, especially now, are alone at home and nobody to turn to. But this community right here, that's why you got me pouring out, being honest as your coach. We have people here that are checking in. They love each other. They support each other. This community right here is what makes life worthwhile. And you're gonna tell me that's not worth $1 a day? I don't believe you. Go to Starbucks, people spend $5 a day, right? Get the junk food at the gas station every time they make a stop, right? There are so many things that we spend money on that don't get us anywhere towards our healthy way of living. This does. So you get 2 weeks for free because some people, right? You get 2 weeks for free because some people want to try it out. And then you can decide. You can decide after that 2 weeks. If you decide, you know what, it's not for me, you can cancel it on your own. Just cancel it. And there's no hard feelings. You guys, I'm here for you no matter what. I am just encouraging you to get on a plan that's been proven to work. And that requires community and connection. Because listen, a lot of those binge eating moments happen in loneliness. They happen in loneliness and not being enough. And when you have a community and you have a connection, then you can get pulled out of that, get back on track, right, to being better together. All right, so I'm gonna get off my soapbox and I hope you guys hear my message. Everything I do for you, right? Because I realize that my journey and my passion in life is to help lift people up. And in doing so, I lift myself up. All right, you guys, I love you so much. Thank you, Raw Stars. I love you so much. You guys you're amazing. Ebony and Denise, I see you. Shannon, I see you. You guys, I love you so much. Thank you for being a part of my team. Have a great day. Bye.